All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, it is awesome to talk to you guys every Tuesday I can in regards of this Raiders season. So it is the 10th episode of the fourth season of the Silver and Bro Show. We are excited to bring you here. What a week it was! It was one heck of a week if you were a Raider fan, and let's just clear everything out of the way. So after the show Tuesday, when I ended the show, Josh McDaniels was still the head coach of the Raiders at that time. A few hours after that, I think we all got the notification saying that he was fired. So didn't really touch up on it last week's episode because at the time he was the head coach, and now he is no longer the head coach. Mark Davis made the decision to fire Ziegler and McDaniels away from the team, cut him a check to get him out, and that was the end of that. That was the end of the McDaniels era after being fired again, just under not even finishing out his second year with the second stint as a head coach. And it is probably, I'm pretty sure him as an offensive coordinator will be fine. But as far as him ever becoming an NFL head coach again, that's kind of the end of his run. That was kind of the end of his run. You took a playoff team and you destroyed it, basically. So let's just grieve it out the way because this is going to be the last time I will ever talk about Josh McDaniels or Dave Ziegler in this sense of anything. Um, Talking to my brother, and he put it perfectly. Sometimes some people were just not meant to lead. Basically, what it is I'm sure he is a great offensive coordinator. He's got 6 Super Bowls with Tom Brady and New England at that time. Good for him. He's just not head coach worthy, and that's okay. It happens. There's a lot of great defensive and offensive coordinators that get on to become head coaches, and then it never pans out. It just didn't pan out, and in this case, it didn't pan out with McDaniel's, and you could tell throughout the season that it was just his demeanor, his coaching style was just starting to weigh on the players, and there's nothing more to it than that. There's nothing more to it than McDaniel's demeanor and his coaching style was weighing down on the players themselves. You can tell by the reaction from their post game conference when you talk to them pre-game. You could just tell everything was just different. So as it stands, he is no longer the head coach. And then here we go. We actually have a guest on right now on Instagram Live. It is my brother, Julian. What is going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Funny, I bet a lot of people are going to be saying, like, oh, all of a sudden, now you win, now you're back. But I just had to jump on for everybody out
I
there.
can tell you right now that's not the case. He has it is not the case with my brother. It was just sour, man. It was sour grapes.
That's what I came on to pretty much let everybody know. Anybody that's probably been wondering where I've been, well, I've been like a lot of other fans. I've been, just I don't know how to really explain it. It's just, I guess you put it about it. I know we're not used to winning. I mean, let's just be honest. As Raider fans, 20 years of losing, but this just felt different. It just felt weird. It felt like we were so desperate to win. We went literally to maybe one of our biggest rivals to try to incorporate their system into what we thought would turn into wins and being successful, and it had a turn for the worst. And I'll be honest. I'll be the first one to say, have I gone to any games? No. Was I supporting the team? No. I was watching, but it was just kind of, it just didn't feel right, And after a while, kind of like what you said, JR, I'll leave it at this. Like, we will always want to give anybody that comes into the Raiders Nation a chance. to turn this thing around, because it's been 20 years we've been waiting for somebody to turn it around, and nobody could do it. So I think we gave him a chance, but after a while, it was just, I know I can speak for myself. It just didn't feel right. What they were putting on the field was ridiculous. I would never spend money or even a lot of my time to try to watch that, because it was just so, it was bad. It was really bad.
It was embarrassing.
I'll leave it at that. It was embarrassing.
I think for me, I think what it came down to, I think it just, I do this, and I have to see this weekly, so I have to do this. I have to keep in tabs of what's going on and everything like that. I think for me, what it was with McDaniels is, I'll put it like this, and we've had discussions off screen about this. I'm sure his plan to how he wanted to run the team, I'm sure his plan was great. Well, in the history of mankind, I'm sure there's been a lot of great plans. It's just he's not the man to execute those type of plans, and it happens. It's like when I open the show. Listen, he's still a good offensive coordinator. I mean, he's had success as an offensive coordinator, but in some cases, some coordinators are just meant to be that, and that's okay. And it's not a knock on him. It's just, dude, like you gave it, like you said, you gave it the old college try twice. You got fired before you can even finish your second year with two different franchises. It's just, as far as Josh McDaniels has any more aspirations of becoming a head coach, he's probably gonna have to go to the collegiate level, because it ain't gonna be NFL. It's not gonna be the NFL. And I will thank McDaniels for his time, but it's just, I think to me, this really started to trickle down after the Monday night win against the Packers. I think you could tell the frustration of Mark Davis was there. Then losing to the Bears, you could feel the frustration from the fans to kind of like,
that's
not in a way of threatening, not threatening Mark Davis, but really going to hurt him where it hurts him the most. And that's his bottom dollar.
Yeah, that's his pockets,
And I think after that Detroit game, I think you could just clearly see where I think the attitude, and I think how do I put this? Not the pressure, but the effort is what I'm trying to say. The effort of the players were there, but you can tell they weren't trying to do it for him. They were trying to do it for themselves. And, now we all know the whole fiasco of they had a, grievance come to Jesus meeting. I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday. And, everybody, go ahead.
I'm sorry, bro, but if I'm not mistaken, was that the second meeting that they had? Didn't they have one before?
I think it was just between coaches.
Right before the Bears game, right?
I don't know if it was the players or if that was just the staff and Mark Davis. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it was one or the other. But we know this. Thursday.
They went out there and they still played like crap.
I know this. Thursday before the game, or Wednesday, Thursday, they had the come to Jesus meeting, where everybody said their piece. And I'm sure there were some hurtful things that were said. I mean, we weren't there, but I'm pretty sure things were said, right? Now, I don't know how true the whole meeting was, according to Jay Glazer. If you saw the NFL Fox where, Jay Glazer, Antonio Pierce spoke on McDaniels' part. And, because Antonio Pierce was part of that team where the Giants beat the undefeated Patriots, which was still one of my favorite Super Bowls ever, because that was just a really good game. That was just a really good football game.
Is that the one with the...
Yeah, that was the one with the helmet catch. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a really good Super Bowl. But, he said his piece of like, hey, even though we weren't like the Patriots, we felt like we could beat anybody. And that's the attitude you need to have, which is, hey, you know what? I like that. We might not have the talent, but we can win. We can do this. So I however true that is of, McDaniels and Antonio Pierce getting it after everybody's gone, where McDaniels told Antonio Pierce, don't you ever talk about my Patriots that way or whatever. I don't know. We're not in the building. I don't know how Jay Glazer got at that information. I don't know, somebody from the organization talked to him anonymously. I don't know. I don't know what's true. I don't know, because we're not in there. However, do I think that there was maybe a sense of you know, something had to get done after that, probably, because I mean, we all saw the Monday night debacle against Detroit. We all saw it. It was bad. It was, and give credit to the defense for trying to hang in there, but that offense could not do anything that day. They couldn't. They couldn't move anything. They couldn't just do anything with the football.
Well, but then again, we're talking about the Giants game, right?
No. We're talking about the Detroit game where it was just flat out, flatline offense. Everything, like, I think I've seen more dead bodies freaking have more, more life than that offense on Monday night. That was just terrible. That was terrible. I mean, I don't know how else to put it other than it was just terrible. But I think, Mark had to do something. And I applaud Mark, because even Tim Brown, I mean, you even called me after and you told me what Tim Brown tweeted. That hurts.
Yeah.
When alumnus and alumni get onto social media and say Mark has to do something, and Mark listened, and he listened well, because he had to do something. And I know midseason changes suck, but I think for the betterment of this team, we're not going anywhere, and you're not getting us anywhere. It's just best if we just part ways. We move on with our lives. I wish you the best, and now we look towards the future.
Yeah, I agree, man. Let me jump in real quick. If you think about it, as sour as I was still watching the game, but it was coming to the point where, and again, I'm only speaking for myself. I can't speak for everybody in Raider Nation, but 20 years, and I can't remember the last time I was just like, I'm done. Like third quarter, I'm done. I'm turning this off. I'm done. I'd rather go and, I don't know, go outside and do something. Or, you know what I mean? It's just, that's the feeling that team gave you, And what we saw this Sunday was just a resurgence, of like that energy, what it is to be a Raider. You know what I mean? The mystique. Somebody was talking about that today in the Raider Nation radio. I listen to that every morning while I'm going to work. And somebody called in, I think it was Fargo Raider. To quote him, he said, and he said it right. He said, hey, where was that mystique? We don't have that mystique anymore. Where's the pride to poise? Where's that commitment to excellence? Those were sayings that were infamous with Raider Nation, right? And I think the last time I remember, we were just kind of like, man, I just hope we could be competitive. Like, what? Wait a minute, what? Like, no, it was,
playoffs.
I don't know what I'm going.
Playoffs.
You know what I mean? It's like, I just hope that we're in the game. Like, that mentality is not the right mentality to have. The mentality of the Raiders has always been, that mystique. That's where I was going with it. The mystique that Raider Nation wants to see them out there. And that's what they did on Sunday. What I called you and I told you earlier, they did what they were supposed to do. They put their foot on their throat and they didn't let
They look like a normal functioning football team.
Normal franchise, correct.
But before that, I want to get into it. So Tuesday, they let go of McDaniels. They let go of him.
Right.
That's the end of that. I wish him the best. That's the last time I'm ever going to say anything about him. That's that. Done and done.
Yeah.
Wednesday happens. Me and you, we talked in the morning, and then next, I think maybe 7-8 hours later, I think what happens after that is they introduce Champ Kelly as the interim GM, and then they introduce Antonio Pierce. For anybody that doesn't remember, Antonio Pierce, a hell of a linebacker for, I think, 10 years with the.
I only remember him from the New York Giants.
I remember him from Washington and the Giants. I don't know if he played for anybody else, but I remember like those were his two major stints at that time, because he was a really good linebacker. For the people that don't remember him, just watch him. And I'm not saying that because he's the interim head coach. Watch him when he was on that Giants defense. He was really good. He was not obviously everybody. Well, if he's not Hall of Fame worthy, then it's not worth my time. No, he was a really good linebacker back in the day. But so they introduce him. Here's Champ Kelly. He says his thing, which, hey, a lot of lives were affected today, but now we have to move forward. And hey, that happens. And then Antonio Pierce gets on, and I think he went total Ice Cube on us on what it meant to be a Raider fan. Because if you want to, he pretty much went out there, spoke from the heart that he was a guy from Compton, California, grew up a Raider fan, rocking into the Coliseum, wearing the Raider hats and bumping NWA. And for Christ's sakes, he has a 6'4" Impala as his everyday vehicle.
Sorry, that's what everybody keeps saying. It's a 63.
It's 63, sorry, 63 Impala. But still, an Impala, nonetheless. It is you can't get more Raider than that. Like that's pretty much, if you want to know if somebody's from LA, that's Antonio Pierce. Like that is, if you want to know somebody is from Compton, California, Antonio Pierce fits that to the freaking T. 6'3" Impala, rocking the Raider gear, busting NWA music. That's it. So he says his piece, and I think even you were ready to run through a brick wall, and we don't even know if he can coach yet. You don't even know. So, I mean, I think obviously, yes, his speech was great, but we wanted to see. It's fine and dandy when you say it on the podium. Anybody can do that. Josh McDaniels can do that. Let me see it on Sunday. Those same words you're seeing on the podium, I got to see them Sunday. And I get it. A lot of people are going to say, well, it was just the Giants. Who cares? Yeah, we played the Bears 2 weeks ago, and we looked flat, too. So, I mean, to me, it's just more this. What I saw, because I was at the game, and I can tell you this. That was the first time, probably in about, gosh, maybe since last home opener, where I really felt the energy from the fans. Because after that, it just started to trickle down. Nobody cared. And why should we? We look dead. We look flat. We look terrible. Why should we care about the Raiders? Like you mentioned, I'll watch, but why should we care, right? But watching them play the Giants, if for the first time, it felt like, man, that energy's back. The fans are back. The fans are sticking to their word that fire McDaniels and I'll come back. And yeah, they came back, and I even brought a couple reinforcements for me from Oakland to kind of bring that attitude with me, to kind of bring that attitude in. And it was great. It was great to see them. More importantly, it wasn't just great to see them competitive. It was great to see them like you wanted. Dominate from start to finish. Offense, defense, special teams. We dominated all three phases of the football game. Now, of course, that comes to the unfortunate accident of Daniel Jones, who unfortunately suffered an ACL in that game, which sucks because that's something you never want to see. But we wish him the best in his recovery and everything, and it just sucks. But at the end of it, I was at the game. I felt the energy, bro. What was your energy like at the house? I can only imagine what you were probably thinking in your head, or probably saying out loud. I don't know.
Right, and a lot of people probably don't know this. I've only said it to a couple people that kind of even need to know, but I really don't go to the Raider games anymore. Anybody that knows me knows that there was no amount of money or location. I mean, for God's sakes, I traveled all the way to there in Mexico to go see them play. It's not a money thing. I think for me, it's more a pride thing. I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money to pay people that are, I'm going a little bit off subject, I'm sorry, but I'm going to put it out there, people with high ticket prices, and not only that, but to go see a crappy team. So back to your point, to see the team on Sunday go out there, it was refreshing. I was hyped. I was screaming at the top of my lungs with nobody here to hear me on TV. And I will be honest with you, I was looking at halftime if there was any tickets available, because I was ready to go. I was ready to go, and at halftime, they were still $195 to go watch just the second half. Yeah, pretty funny. Thought I'd throw that in there. But I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know what's going to come out of this. I know that I've been on this merry-go-round before.
Yes.
And I'll put it out there. I want to see what happens when it don't go their way.
Right.
I want to see what they're
And he's not saying it because he wants this team to fail. He just wants to see when they finally get punched in the mouth, because it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. How do you respond from that? Do you come back?
How do you respond? Yeah. Remember, he's a coach that, if I'm correct, the highest that he's ever coached in as a head coach was high school football.
Well, no, he was the defensive coordinator for Arizona State University. He was the head coach. Yes, it was Long Beach Poly.
Long Beach Poly, which is a great,
a damn fine program, if you ask me. That's a damn fine program, from what I remember.
It is, but it's not collegiate and it's
not NFL, right?
So, like I said, I want to give AP the job. This is the guy. From what he talks about, this is the guy. And again, I hate to be this way because I don't want to look at it 10 weeks down the road. Like people say, let's live in the now. Let's see. He's doing it now. Great. That's great. I'm hype. I'm happy. This is the guy that I want. But I'm also kind of, in the background, like, what's going to happen when you get hit in the mouth? What's going to happen when you lose that one player? What's going to happen when they start to critique you? How thick is your skin? Is it really, you know what I mean? Is he going to be able to handle that? Because let's be honest, one game is great, man, but we've had 20 years of losing.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. I'm right there with you. Of course.
Yeah. So let's see what he can do. I'll be honest. I will be glued to the TV on Sundays. You never know. Maybe I'll make my triumphant return to Allegiant Stadium.
How about this? In front of the whole world right now, because this is weeks from now. Let's say we do get into a situation, because the last week of the game is at home. It's against Denver. If playoff implications are on the line, to where if we beat Denver, we get into the playoffs, will you be there with me?
Probably not.
What?
Oh, yeah, no. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like I said, JR, I think, and for anybody that's listening out there, it's something that I can't see myself paying $500 to $600.
No, I know where you're coming from, because because you know me, I'm a season ticket holder, and you've seen me sell these tickets, and it's like, dude, I most time ask my face value or $30 more. Like, I'm probably one of the cheapest dudes. Like,
JR, even if it was $100, if you were to call me and say, hey, bro, you know what, I can't make the game, but you know what, give me $200. All right, cool, I could see that. But you get on StubHub or any of these places, it's 150, and then the taxes and everything. Before you know it, it's 275. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And what is true, and what is true about it is, like, there's people that do have season tickets and they're asking for ridiculous. But on the flip side of that, there are people that are going to pay that, and that's their money. They can do whatever they want. It's their money. Go ahead.
That's why I continuously say, whoever wants to make their money and whoever wants to pay, have at it. It just won't be me.
Yeah, and that's fine, because I have seen people try to sell stuff, and I think when me and you were hanging out Saturday, it's like, hey, can I get the homie price? No, that is the homie price. Like, whoa.
Yeah, people talk online. I won't say the website or any of that stuff because I don't want to trash them. But I seen somewhere where somebody was like, hey, guys, I'm a diehard Oakland Raider. My first time in Vegas. If anybody's got an extra ticket, I got an extra $100 or 150, and they laughed at him. And I'm like, guys, like, who are you? What are you seeing? Anybody with their hard-earned $150 wants to go watch that trash? I mean, yeah, they won, thank God. But the last couple of weeks, I wouldn't pay $50 to go see that, dude. I'm fine. I'll save my $50 and cry at home watching it here and turn it off by the third quarter and gone about my day.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I hate to be that way, but you know what? I'm sorry.
There are some people, and like how we joke about que se pasan. Yeah, como que se pasan, way. That's too much. Like, we're talking about a football.
I'm not here to be like, man, I hope I can make my mortgage by paying to go.
Bro, me and you have paid prices that weren't even close to go visit them away. We have done trips to San Diego. We have done trips to San Francisco that don't even equal to the amount of money of what some of the ticket holders are asking. And we're not talking like money to where it's like club level or for or 100. These are nosebleed sections that some of these dudes. Some of these dudes just need to check themselves, man.
Exactly. And let's leave it at that, dude, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Make your money, player, and whoever.
Hey, I ain't hating the player or hating the game. I'm just saying, dude.
Exactly. It just like I said.
It's just not for us.
Have fun. I won't be there.
It's just not for. It's just not for us, basically. It's not for us.
Exactly. You have season tickets. You're a season ticket holder. So by all means, bro, you go watch the game. I'm watching at home. If it was something that I knew was important, and you know me, now money's. I'm not rich, but money's no option. If it's important, it's important. I got to be there. You know what I mean?
I get you.
And you know what I mean. So I'll leave it at that. And again,
now
guys,
I do want to get to the game on Sunday because I was there live, and I gotta say I was very impressed on what the defense put out there for performance. And you want to know how I know the energy changed? Because even Tyree Wilson was making some freaking plays. That's when you know the energy has changed. But overall, bro, let's start with the offense. What's some things that you did like, and what's some things that maybe, man, they got to improve on this a little bit in order to continue to improve?
So I'll start off with the offensive line. They look like they were out there pushing people around, a little bit more sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what we needed. With Aiden O'Connell back there, especially one of the main things was keeping him clean, I think. Because last time he was out there, he was fumbling the ball everywhere. We weren't giving him enough time. Josh Jacobs getting to call his own plays. I don't know if anybody heard about that, but
Yeah.
it's all over the media and it's all over out here in Las Vegas. They asked him what plays he wanted to run, which kind of reminds me, again, old school Raider right here. Back in the days when Hugh Jackson took over the Raiders and talked to Darren McFadden, and that's when they were building the bully. They asked him what plays he wanted to run, and similar to that. Anyways,
yeah, no, it's true. I remember that. And then McFadden went on to
Yes.
have like, what was it, like 1,200 yards or whatever? Yeah. Yeah.
Probably one of his best seasons. So, you know, going back to the offense, I like that. I like how they got Jacoby Myers involved. I like the Renfro getting him, you know, juice back in. If I can give a negative, I thought they could have got Devontae Adams a little bit more involved, but I understand he's taking on double teams. And these defensive coordinators, when they go against the Raiders, they think if they could just get Devontae Adams out of the game, then that's the way that they're going to set up to beat us. But with Myers turning it on and getting Renfro back, and then our young tight end, which he hasn't made enough plays for me to remember his name yet. I think we're on the right track.
I think the positive for me, well, the negative for me was, I think, one, there was a lot of left to be desired on the running game. From Josh Jacobs, there was a couple runs where if he would have maybe taken a different path, he would have had more yards, 100%. And I think that's been his thing this year. Like, there was one run where he decided to cut back inside when he already knew that there was going to be traffic. If maybe he would have just bounced it off the tackle, maybe he would have picked up a good chunk of yardage or whatever, maybe to keep the drive alive, keep the drive going, you know, whatever the case may be, right? And I really hope, as obviously that's going to take time, especially now when we did the changes midweek, and obviously new offensive coordinator, knew everything. Obviously, that's just probably going to be time to build and everything. So that's one. Two, it's not so much more the missing Devontae, because we all know Devontae is going to get double teamed. That right? Like, that's just his MO. He's just that good. He's going to get double teamed. I just think they probably could have used a little bit more on the passing attack, as far as, you know, consistency, where it was just, hey, you know, like, yeah, the trick plays are nice, but can we get something like, as far as, maybe a little, maybe not a dink and dunk, but maybe something where it's like, you know, maybe make the defense respect the in between spaces, to where they can the defense can spread out a little bit more to give more room to the tight ends, because I think that was the problem. I was really hoping we could see more tight end play, and there was a couple times where they made some plays and everything, but it wasn't enough to. I think there was just too much to be desired. But as far as the positive, I mean, that offensive line, it looks like the offensive line I've been waiting for since last year.
Yeah.
Where they just moved people, the running game was going, so hopefully that continues. I can't find one negative thing to say about the defense on Sunday. I can't. Everybody, I think the only negative is that Marcus Peters does. Thank God he's a corner, because he would have been cut as a wide receiver years ago, because he can't catch. Marcus Peters cannot catch, but I know who can. I know who can catch. Your boy Amik. He ain't could catch anything apparently on the defensive side. So and then obviously, the defense coming up with 8 sacks, Crosby having 3 of them, Tyree Wilson having 1. You know, it felt refreshing, because I don't remember a time where I was even joking with Los for a little bit, where I'm like, damn, we're up to 8 sacks. I think that we're almost close to our whole total from last year. So it's it's sad, but I mean, at the same time, it's a little funny too. But I really don't have anything negative to say. I just think the team just looked good top to bottom, and hopefully they continue.
Right, and I'm similar. I think if there's one thing, I don't know how negative it could be, but just maybe just like, hey, let's work on this a little bit. Morg needs to be a little bit more, have a little bit more instinct on where he thinks plays are going to go. I just kind of think sometimes he gets a little lost out there. The touchdown, really wish it could have been, a game where we could have held them to 0.
It would have been nice to have a shutout, because I mean, we were going crazy that we only gave up 6 points. We would have damn held the parade if we held this up to freaking 0, man. So
Exactly. So I'll be honest with you, man. The way that they were playing was like, it was refreshing, but at the same time, you could always get better and try to improve. So I'll leave it at that.
So now we know, hey, Antonio Pierce is the guy moving forward. Champ Kelly's the guy moving forward. This is the team that we're going to move forward with. And you know what we got this Sunday. We have a Sunday night football game here in Vegas. So people are going to come to party. People are going to come. But more importantly, it's against a team. People can say what they want about this football team. And I'm talking about the New York Jets. People can say what they want. I don't care what the record says. I think the New York Jets are a damn good football team. I think they're a pretty good football team. I think I think yesterday was just a bad night. They couldn't hold on to the ball. Too many turnovers. I think it was just a bad night for the Jets. And even on the bad night, the Jets defense still balled out. I mean, they held Justin Herbert to 136 passing yards. They did everything they could. It's just the offense was not there. So, bro, in order to win this game, what do the Raiders have to do to win on this Sunday night football game?
Same thing that they did last week, man. That's going to be for the rest of the season. It's just playing sound football and the offensive line doing their job, keeping a rookie quarterback up, not getting dirty, giving them time to pick up receivers. Josh Jacobs out there trying to run the heck out of the ball, and the receivers catching the ball and doing what they need to do, man. Honestly, I think right now I don't want to go off on a limb and say this because I don't want to jinx it, but our offense is the one that needs the most work, because I think our defense is really, really starting to gel.
In all credit, again, I've said it, I think, for like the last 9 weeks, all credit to Patrick Graham and his staff for really turning it around. I mean,
Right.
Last year, I think a lot of people wanted him gone. And I was one of those, like, you know what? I know where he's coming from, because it took his Giants a little while to get it right too. And then the Giants just ended up having one incredible defensive season. And then they let him go. And then, they let go of everybody. But the Giants defense was never the problem. But I was very happy that he joined our staff, and I knew it was going to take some time. But I didn't think it was going to be this fast to where I get to bask in of, oh man, we have a really good defense. Like it ain't like it ain't the Jets defense. It ain't the Niners. It ain't the Cowboys defense. It ain't that type of defense, but it's a defense to where I've always wanted, which is middle of the pack, and just do your thing. Like, and that's something that I'm very happy about. So all kudos to Patrick Graham and his staff. Yeah.
Exactly. So look, bro, I'm gonna get out of here. I just wanted to hop on, say hello to everybody, and I hope everybody's doing well. I'm still alive. I'm still a Raider. I'll be a Raider till the day I pass, you know. But yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying the season. I hope it gets better. I'll try to jump on whenever I can on Tuesdays. And yeah, let's hope that they can pull one out against the Jets this weekend with with their tough defense. It's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be close. Again, what we need to do is keep a lot of pressure on Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
You can't let him go off, which it's going to be crappy to say, but we always let that underdog quarterback.
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's just keep our foot on their throats, man. With a defense that I know is pretty proven now. I think we can go there now and say that they're pretty proven on. At least they're heading in the right direction. So, and Aiden O'Connell, I want to see him progress every week. I think this week one of the main things I'm going to go out on a limb and say Renfro's going to have a really big game. I think last week they got him going, and we're really going to need him.
Yeah. This offense has to be all hands on deck against this defense. It's
He's going to be shut down. He's going to be upset because it's going to be 2 weeks in a row with 3 or 4 catches. And I'm sorry, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to shut him down. And that's how all defense.
And it's not his fault that he's not playing hard. It's just, dude, the defenses, they're just looking at you like.
Exactly. And a rookie quarterback's not going to throw into coverage. He tried to do it a couple times, and look what happened this last week. It's just the teams want to. They're going to say, okay, you're going to beat me, then I'm going to take your best player away, and you beat me with your other players. That's what they're doing.
And that's fine, and that's to be expected, as I usually say. So,
exactly.
So I mean, yeah.
Right,
So we'll see. But all right, bro. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. I know this is usually a longer episode, but like I said, when I got off the show last Tuesday, Josh McDaniels was still the head coach, and then they fired him like literally 3 hours later or some shit like that. So I wanted to wait till Tuesday to do it, but usually, Joanne, thank you again. Thanks, bro. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to make my predictions with Brandon here for week 10. We are finally here, double digits of this part of the season. It was just yesterday. We were grilling for week 1.
Wait, is it week 10 already?
Week 10.
Oh, what?
Yeah, week 10. And we were just making that pork shoulder literally yesterday. And now we're here at week 10. And now we're here in week 10. It always happens. It always happens. But, bro, thank you again. Everybody else, please be safe. All that good stuff. Remember, it is getting darker now, so please be careful on the road. Until then, we'll be back here tomorrow. Bro, I will see you next time. Peace.